Mm-mm-mm. Facebook used to like pop when we used to go live.
You mean like, bing?
Like you would be able to see, like, hey, this channel is live right now. Don't do that too much, though.
Well, I see it popped up on mine.
I really was convinced today was Thursday.
Ooh.
I was convinced. Like till I got home tonight, I was convinced today was Thursday.
Oh, it's such a shame.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
Kind of like you're like, oh, it's not Thursday, because Thursday at least you're like, oh, it's Thursday. That means it's almost Friday.
Yeah, which means I would be get ready to go on a plane. I would be all set to go.
That's right. You're doing that this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Hold on a second.
You are moving your mic though, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, it just sounds like we're in a wind tunnel.
At least I don't talk like I have the mic in my mouth.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Hi, my name is Mr. Chris, and I talk so loud, even animals go, who the heck are you?
That is extremely loud.
I'm really actually surprised that no one kind of recognized the pseudo movie reference to that. But
what is that from?
From
Zootopia?
No, a little bit of Good Morning Vietnam. Robin Williams at his finest.
Oh yes, that is correct.
Great movie. I mean,
haven't seen that movie in a really long time.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie, and the funny part about the movie is that my dad, when we saw the movie, he looked at me afterwards. He goes, "Yep, that's exactly how that guy was too."
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad actually heard that guy on the radio. The idiot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Super
yeah.
Cool.
He's like, it was really like that. Hey, everybody, share, like, sharing is caring. Share.
All right.
Share.
Are you good to go?
Yeah, I'm all good to go.
Okay. Oh, I'd like to take a moment to thank those fantastic sponsors of ours, and let's start with the fantastic Memories Travel and those Mouse Master Travel Group. The Mouse Master Travel Group focuses on the Disney destination vacations, and those agents love taking care of the stressful parts of your vacation planning, so you can focus on the fun. You can find them at mousemastertravel.com. Don't forget to tell them Behind the Ears Podcast sent you. Trader Sam's Coffee Company is the art-essential roaster of specialty Disney-inspired coffees. Why not brew some magic at your home? Some of their coffees include Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight, Enchanted Tiki Coconut, and Red-Headed Rum, and so many other unique roasts. They also just came out with new bags just recently. Their coffees are certified gluten and allergen free and feature unique custom artwork by guest artists. Trader Sam's Coffee Company offers an adventure in every bag, so start your adventure off today by simply visiting them at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. That's right, TraderSam'sCoffee.com. And Behind the Ears Podcast listeners get a special offer to take advantage of. Save 20% off your first purchase by simply using EARS20, EARS20. That's right, EARS20 at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. Brew your happy place. Mickey Monthly brings you a surprise monthly box of Disney goodies direct from the parks. Each month, they curate these perfect custom boxes for your family, and they have options like Disney training pins, Main snacks, and even Disney authentic park merchandise. Packages start at a low $7. Secure your Disney withdrawal today by simply heading over to mickeymonthly.com. And while you're there, use our special promo code RADIO35, that's RADIO 35, to save 35% off your first box. Are you a fan of live streams inside the Disney parks? Maybe you're a fan of live streams here on Streaming the Magic. Well, for $5 a month, you can get the VIP treatment. This includes exclusive streams only for the VIP members and a special and intimate show once a week with Behind the Ears Podcast, where we take and answer all of your questions. And this show will only be available if you are a VIP member on Streaming the Magic. Are you a VIP member yet? What are you waiting for? Head on over to Streaming the Magic and sign up today. Ladies and gentlemen, Streaming the Magic proudly brings to you Behind the Ears Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. I'm Uncle Danny, the man on the other side of the glass. That is Mr. Chris. Sir, that's a good start. How are you tonight?
I'm thinking myself, well, I'm probably having a better start to this than you are tonight, but that's just the nature of our show, live, unscripted, and you never know what you're going to get. In fact, if we even know what we're going to get at the end of a show, we'd surprise ourselves. In fact, we surprise ourselves quite often. How are you doing, man?
I'm tired. I am sleepy, but hey, the show must go on.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. It's been a day, you know. I'm beat.
If you are new to the show, my name once again is Uncle Danny. The man on the other side of the glass, that's Mr. Chris. Still point the wrong way. Can't figure that out. We are the Behind the Ears Podcast, where we talk about everything Disney related. I know we've been sharing in a few new places, so we go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you're new and you want to check some stuff out, just go to BehindTheEarsPodcast.net, and that has all our old shows, our blogs, our shop, and all that good jazz. So let's get rocking and rolling. You know, is there anything pressing on your mind today, Chris, coming out of Disney?
You know, did you see? And I really hate to say this. I even hate to bring it up because I didn't get a chance to really look at it. It's been a busy day at work today, and I had to go to my son's band concert afterwards, so I didn't have a lot of time. But it sounds like Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, is going to step down.
2019.
So, you know, his tenure is up, I guess. And everything I saw didn't give a lot of details. Although I will tell you this, I find it kind of odd that he'd be leaving right at, you know, what I would say is a new peak for Disney awesomeness with, you know, Toy Story Land and Star Wars and everything else coming up. I found it a little bit odd. What are you thinking?
Is he really going to run for president? Little odd that he's going to be ending mid-2019, and our president as currently would be leaving office in 2020?
Well, I don't want to have us get necessarily into a conversation regarding politics. You know that's not our style. Although that would make for an interesting conversation, don't you think? But you know.
Listen, just because his contract runs out. Yeah, I mean, you can hear me good, right?
You're okay.
All right, because I'm frozen on my screen.
Okay.
Listen, his contract runs out, obviously, yeah. But to announce a solid almost 2 years later that he is going to be stepping down seems a little odd to me. There's got to be some back motive to that. There's got to be something going on with that. But, you know, I think we're going to have to do a show because as much as I hate to admit this, I think he might be the most successful Disney CEO of all time.
You know, I'm really not going to argue with that. I mean, the fact of the matter is that even, Iger, I think has done pretty well. Even I know some people will argue with me with this, but I think Eisner actually did a half decent job too.
He just what's the saying? I don't know. Punted the ball away with Paris. He really screwed that one up majorly.
I mean, okay. There's no perfect CEO out there. And, you know, everybody's going to make a bonehead move. It really kind of depends on how you survive that bonehead move, right? I don't even know if Disneyland Paris would be considered a bonehead move, taking into consideration it did kind of get compensated for it, and it has turned out to be pretty good. But yeah, it had a lot of, trouble getting going. But now people talk about Disneyland Paris all the time. So,
Well, I think people are talking about Disneyland Paris all the time now because it's continuously been in the news with the whole idea of, hey, Disney bought it back. Disney now that is the only overseas park that Disney fully owns.
no,
For you guys don't know, Disney doesn't own those other parks. Disney owns a share in all those parks. And actually, Paris, I think, they had the lowest profit share out of all the parks. I'm pretty sure Shanghai, they got 55%. And Hong Kong, what?
Unfortunately, I don't even know the numbers.
I know they both own 50% or more on both those.
Right, because they're both held by holding companies, basically. Yeah, and a holding company, government being that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but the thing is that I guess you could say I never had any real complaints, and I know there are probably some people that really understand more of that history than I do, and that's fine. I totally get it. This is just my own opinion, my 2 cents. I mean, it was Eisner that brought us Hollywood Studios, which back then was when it came out, it was really awesome. Eisner is doing what he can to bring back that awesomeness. I don't have any issue with that. So yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal, I think. And I think the speculation is going to rise. But, like some people said, his time is up. His contract's been already extended and stuff like that. And from what I understand too, now I haven't confirmed at all, but we'll have to see how it goes. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was actually going to ask if you had anything else on that.
On that topic, no, because listen, I mean, we're a podcast. We want to kind of spin it and have a conversation about it. We easily could have came out and said, yeah, listen, his contract's up. He just didn't renew it. It's simple. He's going to go hang out with his family. That's boring. You don't want to hear that because we don't know if that's the truth or not. If it was the truth, that's all I'd report to you. But I want to think that there's a bigger story behind
there. Probably is a bigger story, I mean, and then, okay, so here's the speculation part to it. And I think everybody's going to be speculating about this. Who is going to take over for him? See? Interesting twist, right?
I can think of like 5 people.
I mean, there's probably a lot of people that would be like standing in line, chomping at the bit to be the CEO.
They're going to go outside.
No. I'm not talking necessarily inside. I'm just saying there are people that are chomping at the bit that would say, "Oh, please pick me, pick me, pick me." And these could be people that are already CEOs or emerging CEOs from outside of the Walt Disney Corporation.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the deal.
You'd be shocked if they go at Universal CEO?
You know what? I don't think that would happen. I don't. I'll tell you. Huh?
Money talks.
Well, that's true. But, here's something to think about. He's going to go in 2019. So, with this announcement, and this kind of happens a lot with different large-scale organizations. Chances are, in the next several months, they're going to go through a search, and I say a search, and this could be internal or external. It really can be. They're going to, pick several candidates. The board will vote, that sort of thing. Within the next year, you'll probably see an emerging, I'll say CEO elect, for lack of a better way of putting it. And that person is going to end up being groomed or mentored by Iger to take over for him. Because you're not going to see, let's see.
No, that wasn't what I was shaking my head. It was this one. Eisner was ahead of the most profitable growth at Walt Disney World. I don't think Eisner was. I thought Iger was.
You know what? That would be an interesting tidbit to really see how that works, and it would be hard to see how it goes
based off inflation, I guess.
I was going to say adjusted numbers. No, but the thing is that we're going to probably see the new CEO come out of this before Iger actually moves on, because you're not going to want to see one of two things will happen. A new CEO will come on now, a year before he leaves, or he will remain as, a past CEO on the board to mentor his replacement. It's either going to happen before or it's going to happen after. It really is going to depend on if another company wants to pick Iger up, or if he's just going to flat out retire.
Do you listen? For all we know, the new CEO is already in the building. He might already be shadowing, and we just don't know it.
You're absolutely right, and there are major companies that have done stuff like that. I'm not going to name names, but I do know of specific examples of that. It is just one of those things. It's how corporate America works. No one's going to end up leaving without having a successor in place. Let me rephrase that. Normally, it doesn't happen that way. Now, if you have a shakeup or something like that, and you have a CEO that just bails because of one reason or another, yeah, that kind of thing happens. That's not going to be the case here, And you know what? I don't believe we're going to have any stability issues within Disney. I just don't. We've got too much stuff going on. People are going to speculate in this, that, and the other. Who's going to be next? Who should be next? The should be next question is going to be all over the board as to who can do it next. There's a lot of really good. You know what? Let us get through the weekend. Let me. We'll do a. I won't say we'll do a whole show on it, but we'll revisit this, and let's see as time winds on if me and Chris can start pulling some names out and see how close we can get. Because I still think it's going to be someone we've never heard of. I don't think you're going to get, the John Lasseter. You're not going to get the names that you expect. No, you know what? I think you're right. I don't think we're going to see somebody.
I think we see a woman.
I wouldn't count against it. And I think that would be fine.
Oh, that wasn't a sexist thing.
I know it was. I know it wasn't a sexist.
Yeah, I think there's just been such a run of males that I think in this day and age, not saying they're going to pass up a great male to go to the female, but I just have a weird feeling that she might already be in the building.
I don't think that's out of the question one bit. I totally agree with you. My biggest thing is I don't think we're going to see somebody that you mentioned Lasseter. I could not picture Lasseter, and I say this with love and respect for the man, to basically turn down what he is doing at Pixar to become CEO of Disney as a whole. I think, actually, to tell you the truth,
I do both.
I don't think he could do. Here's the thing: could he do both? Yes. Could he do both as well as he's doing Pixar now? That I would question, not because of him, because it's a lot. There's two different reasons.
I'm going to make a statement, and it's not political at all, but it's going to sound political.
Okay.
Our president, doesn't matter who it was, 100 years ago now, at the end of the day, they really don't make a lot of major decisions. They really don't do that much because they have an entire cabinetry that does it. And I feel like, not saying that these CEOs don't do a lot. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying when you're the face of the company, you are the man that he's more doing the boardroom stuff. He's more doing the big pitches to big companies. Could he do both maybe as well? Probably not. It is still going to be work.
Yeah, but the way it is though, in this day and age in corporate America, the buck stops there, and that's the thing. The fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter what they choose. If for some reason something happens, and something happens, and Disney's stock takes a dive, whoever the CEO is the one that's going to get run out of town.
You know what I'm surprised with? As we sit here right now, we talk about how Eisner, and I'm not being disrespectful, but I'm trying to pull up a thing on my phone to make my point here. We talk about Eisner being so successful and how he's, more than likely, going to be hands down the greatest CEO we've ever seen with, the relationships we've now gained with Marvel, bringing in Pandora Land. Did he open Animal Kingdom? I believe he opened Animal Kingdom. I don't know if it was his baby project, though. But I think it was right on the time he opened Animal Kingdom. You're talking about bringing in a Star Wars land, a Toy Story land, reacquiring Paris, adding new cruise ships, adding another hotel with the DVC, adding more DVCs all over. You know what their stock goes for right now? You would think how big of a conglomerate that Disney is right now. Take a wild guess, because I own Disney stock and I have it on my phone. Take a guess. It's down 24 cents today. Nothing to be afraid of. Don't worry. Just take a wild guess what this giant company stock is.
I don't know, but I thought it was around 120 at one time.
It's $100.55 as of right now.
Okay, I was pretty close.
I'm a little shocked with that, though.
Do you think it's low or high?
I think that's low. I mean, but you go back 8 years ago, that stock was like $25.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now, granted, anything that we say here about stock or anything else like that is just based upon our opinion and everything else. Please don't take it as stock advice or anything else like that. I'm just telling you guys that now as a disclaimer. You lose a bundle on stock, don't come crying to me. However, if you do great on stocks, feel free to come crying to me. We all wish that when we all started becoming Disney fans that we would own several shares of stock. And we always think of the, if and buts, the if and buts part, right? I would really love to, I really wish that 10 years ago I would have bought even a couple $1,000s worth of stock. I didn't have a couple $1,000.
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah. I wanted to buy Tesla when it was under $200 a share. If I would have
put on that one, you missed the boat on that one.
I really did. And in fact, if I would have been able to put the money I could put into it now that I did then, I would actually own a Tesla because of it.
Think about remember when Apple first came out, what they were, Facebook,
oh gosh, yeah.
Look back and you're like, man, I should have done that. But you still take a gamble. There's been a lot of companies that came out. I was watching an interview yesterday, and this is completely off tangent. And I'm not going to throw the guy's name out there. So if you guys are into the business world, you know who I'm talking about. This guy is known to just dump money into companies. He's one of the hottest guys under 40 right now. And I mean hot by business sense. Got to clarify certain things.
Sorry.
All right. His buddy opened up Uber, okay? And they pitched it to him. He's like, no. The guy brought in another guy, goes, look what we're doing. I brought in another guy you and trust, and we're going to bring somebody else out here to help us run the business. This just was a side business. All they wanted was $30,000 for him. He said no. He goes, that was the biggest mistake he's ever made of his life. He goes, because that $30,000 today would be worth over $300 million.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss, man. You miss.
It's always hindsight. I mean, but it's really hard because Disney has, at times has run into some hard times. But think of it this way: if nothing else, Iger is going to go out on top of his game with Disney. Okay, new hotels, a new gondola system, Toy Story, Toy Story, Avatar, Star Wars,
Marvel, all of that.
Marvel. There are so many things that I'm just talking about within the last 3 to 4 years of his tenure on the company. He's going to come. He's going to leave right as these other things are going to come to fruition. I mean, that is going to be gargantuan. He's going out in a blaze of glory, everybody. I mean, it's just. I mean, seriously.
It's weird how everything dropped out in those last couple of days, though, because you even hear that Disney confirmed that they were in the market to buy Twitter back a year ago.
But does that mean that they're going to try to think about doing it still?
No, but you know what it is? We sat here the day that we heard that last year.
I remember that.
And everybody was like, oh, no, they're not going to buy Twitter. And I think I sat here, I'm like, that would be the dumbest thing to do. But at the same time, we sit here, how many times have we heard, oh, Apple wants to buy Disney? Then Disney wants to buy Verizon.
Or was it Comcast also?
Comcast wanted to buy it. Everybody either wants to buy Disney or Disney wanted to buy Netflix and Twitter and Facebook. Whatever the case is. And we all sit here, we laugh because we're like, oh, and then you find out a year later, wow, we weren't far off from that being an actual reality. It stalled at the door. But think about how different Twitter would be if Disney owned it.
Well, the thing is, I have to look at it some more. I mean, they weren't necessarily saying that they're going to continue thinking about it. They just said, oh, yeah, they're confirming. Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah. They're saying it basically wasn't a rumor. That, yes, there was actual negotiations to buy Twitter, and it fell through.
I'm sorry, and for those people listening to the podcast, they're not seeing my face, like just kind of sitting here thinking a little bit. It's the whole idea of a company like Disney wanting to buy Twitter, and it's kind of like I'm not a huge Twitter user. I do my share on Twitter.
I think we're the most least active Disney podcast on Twitter.
We probably are. And and to be very honest, I'm not going to say it's sad, but you kind of have to pick and choose your battles these days with the amount of time that we have to social media. As everybody knows, we focus it on Facebook and within the podcast itself, which is hosted separately. Those are the platforms we focus on.
It's our bread and butter.
It is our bread and butter. We do some things with Instagram, probably a little bit more than some of the other stuff. Twitter is probably our least utilized. And the thing is, it's not a matter that, I've tried to get the word out with Twitter a lot of cases. And I guess I don't have the reach or the following. Or maybe I don't know how to use hashtags as well as I should. But to have Disney say that they're going to buy Twitter and have Disney actually own a social media empire, that would be interesting to see what they would do to manipulate it. I shouldn't say manipulate. That's not really what I meant. But what would they do to change it? What would they do to put the Disney corporate spin on it? I'm not necessarily saying they would Mickey Mouse everything, but because they would treat it like, the company that it is.
Jamie basically said, why does Disney need Twitter? And boom, right there. You nailed it on the head without even seeing it. Disney wants to buy all different stuff. And why not buy a social media conglomerate? And listen, we are big Facebook users. We love Facebook. But at the same time, there's a change coming. Facebook is turning a little bit, and maybe for most of you, since you guys are just on social media, you might not see it, but as business owners, we see it. It's turning into what we're doing here. It's more businesses on there than people hanging out. Twitter now is becoming what Facebook used to be, where people are interacting, and there's tides changing, and I think it's right around the corner.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, dare I just allude a little bit to the conversation you and I had after hours last night, just for fun's sake?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the fact of the matter is that, we're trying to figure out how we can expand our social media outlets, to basically have some things that are simulcast here on Facebook, over on Twitter, over on YouTube, all at the same time, so we can gain our reach, things like that. And it's going to be very, very difficult for us to do. But we're looking to see how we can go ahead and utilize these things to the best of their ability. Why? We want people to enjoy the show. That's really what it comes down to. But it's really difficult and hard to do this all at the same time. It took me a long time to actually start using Twitter. I will not use Snapchat.
You know what the funny thing though is? I grew up, my first social media experience was MySpace.
Mine was too.
MySpace was the spot to be at. And then all of a sudden, you see, and here's the thing is, you had MySpace. Facebook came out. Some people went over, but like, I don't need Facebook. I've got MySpace. And then all of a sudden, one day, businesses started taking over MySpace, and we all kind of just migrated over to Facebook. There's that transition's already happening, people. You had Facebook, and then all of a sudden, now here's the difference than last time. Now you've got Snapchat, you've got Instagram, you've got Twitter, you've got, Tumblr's been out for a while. You now have all these other arms, and people are kind of, it's like standing in the middle of a room and everybody's pulling you different ways. You don't know where to be.
The thing of it is that, I'll go back to my very fervent comment of I won't use Snapchat. I haven't used Snapchat since I got my new phone. I never reloaded it. My daughter uses Snapchat to communicate with us. My son uses Snapchat to communicate with us. My wife uses it. Some other people use it.
You're not on my top 8, Brandon. I'm taking you off. You just got up there.
Yeah. So, the thing is that, to me, Snapchat is, it's not business-ish. Instagram stories is actually better for business if you want to know the truth. Yeah. I always think of the Weird Al Yankovic song "All About the Pentiums." When one of the lyrics is, I got all these people fighting for my top 8 spaces. Yeah,
it's so true.
It's gosh, I still remember that. I used to have a really big MySpace following. I had a huge MySpace following. That, and I used to do, instead of WordPress, which is now one of the largest blog sites in the world, I used to use LiveJournal. That was, and that was pretty interesting.
But just to touch on what Chris said, just like Disney and just like any other major company, we're always looking to change. And listen, me and Chris have a lot of big decisions coming up in the very near future about how we want to handle things. And you might see some really, really cool new features, but you might lose some features that you like. You also might just see the same thing and realize that we decided to stay with what we have. You don't know. There's a lot of things that might be coming down the pipeline, and as things come in, we'll keep you guys in the loop. And
actually, I'd go along with that. I mean, the biggest thing that we want to do as a show for you, our listening audience, is to tell us. I know we keep on saying, send us a message over either on the Behind Ears Podcast Facebook page, over at the Disney community page, or at our email at behindearspodcast@gmail.com. We're serious about that. We really care about that kind of feedback because, you might not be able to get, Mr. Eisner for different, Mr. Iger in order to, comment about Disney stuff, but he could always comment to us about our stuff.
Yeah.
And, we do take it all seriously. We may not respond to everything immediately, but we do read it. Danny and I do talk about it, and we just want to be able to give you the best. But Danny, unless you have something else, I got another topic.
I have another topic too.
Go for it then.
Okay. Well, we really didn't plan on going on a 20-minute tangent about that, but
no, we really didn't.
That's what makes us cool. A couple people had asked about the new Disney dining coming to 2018 and how we felt about it. So if you don't mind, can I read through this real quick so we can just touch on this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So if we wanted to start with let's start with the easiest, the quick service dining, right?
Right.
This is all starting in 2018, and we're talking about adults ages 3 and over. Okay. Well, the child's are ages, excuse me. The packages are for people 3 and older. 3 and under are free. Children are 3 to 9, and 9 and above is an adult. So for the quick service, you get 2 quick service meals, includes 1 entree and a beverage. Okay. Now, new for 2018, guests under 21 years old can choose 1 non-alcoholic beverage, including specialty beverages where offered. Say you're a Coral Reef and you wanted an Ariel or a Buzz Lightyear cup. Boom, there you go. Guests 21 and older can choose either a non-alcoholic beverage, including specialty beverages, or 1 single serving mixed cocktail, beer or wine where offered with this entitled meal. You also get 2 snacks and 1 refillable mug. The old price for an adult was $48.19. It now rises to $52.49 for one day.
Yeah, but we talked about this a little bit ago, and
we did.
And the idea, and I think the idea still stands. It's one of those cases where I think it's kind of fitting a kind of a niche, but then people are going to have to start wondering whether or not they're going to want to utilize that sort of thing in order to get that value out of that credit.
My thing is if say you're a firm believer on using said dining plan, you're like, you know what, I've always done the math, it always works out well for me, because we've always said that you need to do the math to see if it works for you and your family. But say you always like to do it, I think it's a knock out of the park, and you would continue to do it because the price goes up $4. No specialty drink is $4.
No specialty drink, nor is a cocktail or beer or a glass of wine.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and mind you were mentioning that first started off with a quick serve credit. That's for a table serve credit. That's where it's actually offered. But wait, is it also included with a quick service credit?
What?
Either a specialty drink or alcohol?
It has to be during one of the meals.
No. I get that.
Oh.
But I'm trying to think. There might, because I know there are some quick serve places that do serve beer or wine.
I don't know.
I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking, especially at studios. I'm trying to go through my mind off of memory. There might be some other things to that. So I don't know, but I'm just saying we'll have to take a look into that. That's one thing that one thing is, that's the thing.
That brings up a great point.
Yeah, I mean, Brian mentions the new dining scares me. Throw that back. Thank you. To make it look like you'll save money, then they're getting ready to really crank up the price of food for everything. I mean, listen, the price goes up every year. The price of food goes up every year. It's kind of a cause, not a cause effect, but it's an equalizing effect, right? You still have to do the math, and you still have to figure it out. Like Michael is saying, hey, it works great for his family. And you know what? That's fabulous. You're not going to hear us like be totally negative on it. But for me, it doesn't work because of just how we dine now. Several years ago, it actually worked out really well for us. Not anymore. And it kind of goes along the lines of you have to reassess how you do Disney as you do Disney more often or more frequently. It makes a big difference.
Nicole, those prices that I just said, the $52, that was for the quick service. So you get 2 quick service meals, your specialty drinks, beverages, cocktails, whatever, your 2 snacks and 1 refillable mug. Same thing will go down to the standard dining plan, which is 1 table service, 1 quick service, 2 snacks, refillable mug, and once again, you are now getting the cocktails with that. Also,
yeah. So in essence, you're actually answering my question. Is that they're including that specialty drink, or they're including that single serve alcohol beverage, in that. Okay, so that means like Be Our Guest, which is considered a quick serve. You can now get, I think it's beer or wine at dinner. And I think there are other places that you can get beer or wine at other places as well.
What's your question? Because maybe I'm not following it properly.
What do you mean?
Like,
well, I was wondering. I wanted to get clarification whether or not the quick serve credit included that special.
Yes, it does.
Lemon. So that was it. And then you answered my question with that.
I apologize. Yes, it would have to because it came. The quick service dining plan only has quick service.
Right, and I for some reason I missed something. I don't know if it was a blip in the audio or what. That was my fault. But I mean, again, if you're going to do that, a beer costs you $8.
Yeah,
a glass of wine costs you about the same. If you get a specialty milkshake or something like that, it's going to cost you $5 or $6.
I just would love to know: is there a cap of a price for a mixed drink? I mean, can I go in there and get a Johnny Walker Black? I don't know. I thought it was
there was some kind. I thought when we first talked about it, there was a limit that it could not be premium liquor. So okay. You're talking about well drinks, basically. You're not talking about top shelf stuff.
Okay. Well, for the standard dining plan, that did rise from $69 to $75. You're talking about a $6 increase.
Again,
still covers a beer now. Now you're covering a beer.
But if you don't, here's the other thing. And this is what I'm saying. If you don't do the specialty non-alcoholic or the specialty alcoholic drinks, it's just something you have to. You still have to consider that price for what you get.
I would say this though, because with that, it's a lot of money each day. $76, $75.50 is really, it's a lot. But when you think about it, if you go to Le Cellier or if you go to the Yachtsman, you could almost as one person do that by yourself, $75.
Oh, wait. Hold on though. I got to debate you on this here for a second. we played around with the idea of the whole 2 credits for something.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to be careful about that because, we broke it down to about $14 or $12 to $14 for a quick serve, $4 to $5 for a snack. So let's just round things up and say it's $20 for quick serve plus a snack. We're not going to count the refillable mug. So you're saying it's what, $74?
75. It's called 75 to make
it 75. So now you're down to 55. And that's for basically one last credit.
Yes.
Okay. The Cellier is 2 credits, which gives you obviously your entree, dessert, beverage, and alcohol beverage.
Mm-hmm.
You get like the filet, and it's $60. You get a dessert,
$10.
At $10, so you're at $70. You get a beverage. Let's call it another. So it's $80. $80, and you're using credits that are worth a total of about $110.
Yeah, but then how they're going to tell you to do the math is you're getting a mug that you can fill for free at your resorts, which is every soda costs you what, $4? So you could basically drink the rest of it away in soda or tea or coffee, whatever you fill your. So that's where it gets tricky.
It becomes fun. It becomes funny math, because don't forget. Here's the funny part. Okay, you go to order. Let's say you're at Pop Century. You go to the food court and you order, a meal to go with your quick service dining plan. You have, your entree, you have your dessert, and you can still get a beverage without using your refillable mug. So it's like, okay, I'm still getting a beverage out of it. Now someone said you can get a bottled beverage instead and take it to your room or drink it later or whatever. Hey, fine, whatever. It's funny math. There is still that little gray area, but it's like, the problem of it is that's still $20 per person, 9 and above. And so if you say, okay, there's like in my family, there's 3 of us. That's 20. That would be $20. It'd be $60. We're going to drink $60 worth of soda. Even at $3 a cup. Ugh, gosh, I'd be bloated.
But just like you're saying and Brian's saying, how often you're going to, I think that is the biggest downfall with these cups, and they're dropping the ball, unlike Universal did, where you can have these freestyle Coke machines that only have the sensors that are in the Disney refillable mugs to get the sodas.
The thing about it, here's 2 ways of looking at it. Yeah, they're those refillable mugs. I will tell you, they are awesome. They are awesome if you're going to be around the pool for an afternoon and you need to keep hydrated. I think they're wonderful. The problem of it is that if you took those mugs with you into the parks, specifically to be refilled in the parks, if they offered something that you just mentioned, what happens if someone forgets a mug? What happens if someone forgets a mug or loses a mug, I should say, somewhere around the parks? Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I lost my mug. I left it on Space Mountain. It becomes a logistical nightmare. So I don't know. I'm not knocking the dining plan, because there are still times where I would say, oh yeah, do the dining plan, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of character meals.
This is the one I do knock, though, is the deluxe dining plan, which offers you 3 meals where you can do quick service and or table service. Price went up $16 this year. It went from last year being $106.68 to $116.24. But children only went up to $39.90, and that's actually not a bad for kids.
No, that's really not too bad
for what you get to offer.
But again, it's like, here's the deal. If you're going to be dining at Disney, and you're going to, dining at Disney is going to be your jam for your vacation. That's actually something to really think about it. The other part to it is that, don't forget, most table service places, you're going to be there from about 45 to 55 minutes on the short side to an hour and 55 minutes average. And if you're going to be going somewhere like Cinderella's Royal Table, Cali Grill, Hoop-de-Doo, things like that. You are going to be spending 2 hours there, easy. So you just got to have to, think about how much time are you going to be sitting at a dining table, eating, on a daily basis. You really still have to consider how much is it worth to you. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I think it is like having a whole tool chest of wrenches, screwdrivers, and sockets. They're there all for a purpose. They're all very useful. Sometimes you need to use one over the other, but they're all there for a good purpose. You just have to assess which tool to use.
Yeah. All right. What was the other topic you wanted to touch on?
So I saw something right before we came on, and it was only one place where I've seen it so far. And I'll go ahead and give them a plug. It's a site that I don't always go to, but I saw it. This was really good information. So I'll go ahead and give credit where credit is due for this. It's called couponingtodisney.com. They have a Facebook page as well. And I saw they published this. And God, I hope I got kind of excited about it when I saw it. They're bringing back what used to be kind of like the water parks and more. They're bringing back, calling Park Hopper Plus, which allows a certain number of entitlements for things like water parks or ESPN, wide world of sports, and certain like golf type things.
Ooh.
I just saw it. There wasn't a lot of information, but I just saw it. It's just published like not even an hour before we got on the air. So it's something I'm going to be looking into a little bit more. I think that is actually really cool because I always thought, now I don't know any of the rules behind it, but when I use the water parks or more option, if we were going to be there for 7 days and we knew that we were going to have a water park day, you only needed to get 5 days of parks, 1 day for water parks, and the other day was also we used for Disney Quest. And as long as you use 2 of the extra entitlements, it was like the price differential made up for itself easily, than paying, say, for Disney Quest or the water park separately. So it was a great value. To do that water parks and more option. So now I believe it's going to be called Park Hopper Plus. I'm going to find out more about it, and going to find out more about it because I think it's going to be really cool for people that want to do the water parks.
Brian says, I think you might have missed that they just got rid of adding on water parks.
Well, Brian, I'm going to have to double check then because I just saw this.
I've never even heard of this. I'm so confused on what this really is.
Hold on. Hold your horses. Let me go ahead and go right to the source, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I heard the Disney Quest building is slowly disappearing now.
Yeah. So here's how it goes. This is what it says. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move my mic. So sorry if this is loud. Okay. So I'm reading this right here. Right now, it was published 8:00 this evening, October 4th, 2017. Park Hopper allows entry to all 4 parks as you please. Now, Park Hopper Plus is a great option for those wanting to check out Disney's water parks. Park Hopper Plus, for just a little bit more, allows guests a certain number of entries into Disney's water parks as well. This includes 1 admission per day to either Disney's Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach. The number of days guests are allowed depends on the number of Magic Your Way ticket days purchase. Guests can also choose ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, Disney's Oak Trail Golf Course, Disney's Fantasia Gardens Miniature Golf, or Disney's Winter Summerland Miniature Golf Course. And that's all the information that's there. So you can take that for what it's worth. I'm going to go ahead and do some extra verifying with it, but it could be very very new information. So there.
Interesting.
I know they got for Park Hopper, they did get rid of that kind of water park and more option. So
I don't know. Sorry, I was messing around and my camera kind of got all squirrely. It won't all blurry. Ooh.
Now, the thing is, if this is something that's old news, here's the fact of the matter is, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it on anything. I've looked at ticket prices online Disney for a while now. What?
Trying to get the camera to focus.
No.
Maybe it's broken. Are you broken, camera? Come here. Ooh.
Wow, that was...
This is great on-air stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great angle.
Wow.
That's just... Oh, there we go.
There you go. Now you're back in focus.
Hi. Hip, hip. So, before we end the show, because I have no idea what that topic was about. I can't even add anything to it. I'm sorry. I would like to add more, but I have nothing for that topic.
Yeah, I know. It was just one of those things I read beforehand. I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to take a look more into this.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for my ceiling. Yes, I know it's a beautiful ceiling. So, anything else anybody's got to ask us? Want to say anything? Wednesday's a different show. Any news about the polo shirts? That's Mr. Chris's department.
Yeah, I'm working with the person that is kind of doing some of our web stuff to try to get that set up. It's going to have to be set up a little bit differently than the other campaigns that we have going, quite simply because of the price of the shirts. So it'll be soon, I promise you.
But in the meantime, you could always order other shirts.
There's some nice stuff. There is some nice stuff, man, and people have been showing us pictures of what's been out there. It's kind of nice stuff.
Super pumped. We I got the Casey shirt that should be in the mail any day now. I got the Give Kids the World shirt. Got that in. That was really good. Like that shirt. I ordered one red T-shirt for now, and I got a bunch of stickers. I will be giving away. No, wait. Yes, maybe. I don't know. I think I ordered enough stickers. I think I was planning on giving one away. But if not, I'll definitely still give one away. They're very reasonably priced. You can find all that stuff at BehindTheEarsPodcast.net. Thank you. I know this jacket is one of my favorites. It's old now, though. It's still in great condition. Anybody that's going to start getting colder, we have polo. We have not polos. We have sweatshirts, hoodies, crew necks, zip ups, long sleeves. We even have baby onesies. Get on it. Put your baby in a Behind the Ears Podcast onesie. You want to give away buttons? Oof, that's a tough one.
No, yeah. And by the way, I'm going to go back for a second. I'm just looking here. For a 5-day Park Hopper ticket, adding the Park Hopper Plus option only adds $15.
That's it? It's only $15 for the Hopper?
And that's what I just did, a $5 or a 5-day adult ticket with Park Hopper. Then it says upgrades and options. Upgrade to Park Hopper Plus option, plus $15 per ticket. Enjoy same-day admission to all 4 theme parks on each of your ticket, plus 5 visits to a water park or other Walt Disney fun.
Just by upgrading to a Hopper?
No, Hopper Plus. That's on top of the Hopper.
Oh,
so like a 5-day Park Hopper option. Well, hold on a second.
I don't like when they add pluses and things because I never understand what's going on.
Let me just do this. Click. It's $489 with the plus option. $473, $474, $473.93. So it only adds $15. That's a deal.
Yeah, if you like water parks, yeah.
If you like water parks, that's what you want to do.
I've boycotted Disney water parks for the past 10 years. So
I'm a fan of it, and for $15, I'd so do it. Oh yeah, that's like a half price of less than half price admission.
Listen, to whomever may be taking over as CEO of Disney, you bring back River Country. And if you can't bring back River Country, you bring back a form of River Country. None of this Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. No, I want river country. I want to go in the swimming hole. I'm from the city. We don't have swimming holes. That was my closest thing to the South.
Oh, this is interesting, though. And this is something I heard of. We haven't talked about it. You buy a ticket now through the website. First day of use must be on or before December 31st, 2018.
So they're putting almost a little over a year on it.
That you have to first use it. Beforehand, there was no expiration for tickets.
Like I said, they didn't want people buying up a bunch of tickets and then, selling, maybe even selling.
Interesting. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you on that, but I wanted to get that out there because it seemed like there was some question on whether or not it was a legit thing. I'm looking here. It's legit. Whether or not it came out a whole lot earlier, I'm just finding out late. I don't know. I haven't had to actually buy tickets in a while. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If it's news to you, it's new news to you as well. There you go.
With that being said, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Facebook is Behind the Ears Podcast, Instagram Behind the Ears Podcast, and Twitter, that pesky Twitter. So if Disney bought Twitter, we'd be able to put the full name in there. But until they do, it's just Behind the Ears PC. Any listener questions, comments, or concerns, please send them to behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to go on Facebook and ask to join the Disney community. It's a great community. We do a lot of fun stuff. Head on over and enjoy it. If you would like to see any of our blogs, archive shows, and or do some shopping, just simply head over to behindtheearspodcast.net. And lastly, from me, since you're doing all this stuff on the computer, why not just take it one step further? Go on iTunes, rate and review the show. It helps us out very much. With that being said, I am Uncle Danny. I'm signing out.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Hey, don't forget to also subscribe to the show over at Apple Podcast, iTunes, Google Play Music, or whatever podcast catcher you like to have. And that way you get everything sent to you without even thinking. So, but until we meet again, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you again soon. Take care.